Hello and welcome back to my channel, Sun Salutation Spotlight. Today I'm featuring a video that is a post-workout flow. So this can be coupled right after a workout class. It could be after a time you've been lifting weights, or maybe you've gone on a run and you need a little bit of a juicy release for your muscles after all of that repetitive motion. This could also be the next day or day after your workout if you're trying to avoid soreness. My name is Andrea. I'll see you on the mat.
Begin in your Sphinx pose. With your belly down on the mat, draw a number 11 with your forearms as you draw your shoulders down your back, arching your spine long. Inhale and exhale, bend your right knee to a 90-degree angle. Rest the inside of your right thigh onto the mat. If you have to shimmy to one side of the mat or the other so that you have a little extra padding under your knee, go ahead and do so. Breathe here. Draw your right arm underneath you across the body and rest your right temple on your mat, stretching your right shoulder in a twist-like shape. Breathe here. Notice where your mind goes in these moments of stillness. Notice if there's any tension in your jaw. Relax your brow, letting gravity assist you in this posture. In this shape, we get a nice twist through the torso, but we also get some beautiful compression in that shoulder, that right side shoulder, as you open the shoulder blades away from one another and the front of that deltoid muscle. So if you've been doing any weightlifting, this is really helpful for any deltoid work or Arnold presses you might do. Inhale, draw your arm back to Sphinx pose. And breathe, pressing your pelvis into the mat. Pause here before we take it to the other side. We're going to hover your right elbow so that you can thread your left arm across your body and underneath you over to your right. And then begin to shimmy your hips so that your left hip is under your right hip so you can open into this supine twist. You're probably familiar with this shape, but not getting into it in this way. If you notice that your right arm is floating in space, you might want to bring your left hip forward of your right hip so you have a little more room for this spinal rotation. Open your chest. You can draw a cactus with your right arm to intensify the stretch in your pec of your right chest. Or you can extend your right arm out long. And again, if that right arm is floating in space, you can always rest it on a block or a bolster. Inhale to sweep your right arm across back over to your right and find your Sphinx shape with your arms, and release your right leg down alongside your left. Shimmy your hips to center and just take a brief belly down Shavasana here to find neutrality in your spine. And stretch the serratus anterior, which is the armpit muscles, and to rest your head and your neck. Rest for just a breath or two more here. Come back into your Sphinx pose, drawing your elbows underneath your shoulders and your forearms on the mat. Shimmy your hips over to the right so that you can bend your left knee to a 90-degree angle, creating that shape again on the second side. And then we'll take our twist here. Hover your right elbow off the mat as you thread your left arm underneath your chest and rest your left temple on the mat or a block. Breathe into your left shoulder here. Notice any difference between your two sides and maybe linger here a little longer, or If you do this video again next time, you can linger on your first side a little longer if you notice that there's more tightness in one shoulder than the other. Breathe into the sensation you feel, knowing that this will help you release any soreness in the future by taking a little time here to release the muscles of your left shoulder and relax into your mat. From here, move back into your Sphinx shape with your arms, liberating your left arm and finding your forearms on the earth. And then preparing for that supine twist, go ahead and thread your right arm underneath your body and sweep your left arm up and back. Shimmy your right hip underneath your left hip as you open your left arm out to the right. Supine twist shape. You can rest your right palm on your left thigh. As you open your heart, relax your left shoulder towards the earth. One more breath here before we move back onto our bellies. Lift your left arm, sweep it across your body, back over to your left, and find Sphinx shape with your arms. Re-extend your right leg down your mat. Find one moment in belly down Shavasana before you press back up to hands and knees and find child's pose. Toes and heels touch as your knees come out wide. Sit your hips back towards your heels and reach your palms out long in front of you. Walk your palms back towards your knees and draw your knees to touch as you find hero's pose, sitting on your heels. Draw your spine long. Gaze out in front of you for one breath or close your eyes. And then we'll make our way onto our backs. Swing your legs out in front of you, soles of your feet on your mat, and begin to roll your spine down the length of your mat, vertebra by vertebra, until your whole spine is down on the mat. Hug your knees in close and rock left and right to massage your low back. We'll move into shoulder stand next. So if you're not familiar with shoulder stand, go ahead and come to a seat as you watch me here. I'm going to lift my hips off the mat and draw my palms underneath my hips as I lift my heels towards the sky. It's really important not to move your head left or right to protect your neck in this posture. So make sure you know where you're going before you get started. From here, you can just press your palms into your low back, and you might shimmy your elbows closer to one another to feel a little more support for your spine. Begin to bend your knees and draw them towards your nose. To prepare for plow pose, extend your toes back behind you to stretch the whole back line of your body. If you're not a huge fan of plow pose or you're unfamiliar with this posture, I suggest you stay in shoulder stand. Support your low back as you draw your heels back up to the sky and gently drop your hips back to the earth to find happy baby pose. Bend your knees deeply and draw your palms behind your thighs or to the insides or outside of your feet. Press your pelvis into the earth so you feel the crown of the head all the way down the spine to your sacrum, resting on the mat. If you notice your hips are lifting off the earth, release the grip from your heels and bring your palms to the inside of the thighs, behind your thighs, so that you can relax your low back on the mat. Take a few more breaths here. Option to rock left and right, and if you have a hold of your feet, you can extend one leg and then the other before we draw our knees back together to hug them into our chests. Draw your forehead towards your knees. Inhale here. And exhale, open Shavasana. Allow your legs to splay out, your arms to reach out in opposite directions, and rest your body here for just a few moments. Namaste, friends. Come out of your Shavasana in your own time when you're ready. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.